Hey guys, we're watching British comedian Al Murray for the first time today. Is he drinking? Oh my gosh. I just want to start off by saying, wow. We're still a really small channel, but it seems like you guys really like World War II stuff. My last video on the Eastern Front of World War II, 1941, brought in a lot of new people to this channel. I've been getting a lot more comments and a lot more video suggestions, so thanks to all of you who have subscribed and have been leaving the comments. It really means a lot to me, so let's keep it up. Also, Roger thanks you too. He's grown some hair because it's a little cold outside and, you know, he just needs something to help keep warm. Now, the video we're watching today is a viewer suggestion. They left it on the video about all of the countries that the British Empire invaded. And so it looks like Al Murray does a stand-up routine kind of about that. So hopefully after watching that other video, I'll kind of get some of the stuff that he talks about in this. Also, I'm hoping that the British humor comes through because I know British humor and American humor tend to be slightly different from each other. Also, I've been told that it's a little NSFW, so plan accordingly.
We have defeated every single fucking country in the world at war. Name a country, Gary.
Germany.
Germany, 1945, thank you very much.
It's like really strong and
job
confident.
Done twice in one century. If only they'd tried again around 99, we got the fucking hat trick. Another country, please.
Argentina.
Argentina, 82, no help from no one else. And that, of course, was a war not for oil, but for penguins. Because we all know penguins are an essential ingredient in making Guinness, aren't they? You boil them up, the white stuff floats to the top, job done. Another country, please. Another one, France, thank you. We're in 1815 Waterloo, we haven't heard from them since. Yeah, another one, please. Canada, yeah, Canada used to be part of the British Empire, which means they're an ally of ours. As you know, being an ally of ours counts as losing to us. Why else are the Canadians so miserable? Another one, please. Hey? Spain, 1580.
Oh, I don't know about that. I feel like Canadians are really happy people. I have a really good friend who's Canadian, and I mean, obviously he's joking here, but that's a stereotype of Canadians that I haven't heard before, that they're like miserable, unhappy people. I feel like it's the opposite of that.
1588, Battle of the Armada. Thank you, sir. We haven't heard from them. Another one, please. To us. Why else are the Canadians so miserable? Another one, please. Hey? Spain, 1588, Battle of the Armada. Thank you, sir. We haven't heard from them since. Another one. Uganda. That was an African colony, of course, that at one point used to belong to the Germans. And in 1919, the League of Nations, as you know, when the Treaty of Versailles, when the world was redivided, the African colonies were...
Is he drinking while doing this? Because I feel like this is a bit of like a Dean Martin type routine. You know, Dean Martin was famous for like being drunk on stage. He wasn't really, but you know, that was his stereotype. So is this guy kind of like the same thing? He just always drinks on stage like this while he does his thing. Also, I'm pretty impressed by the audience. They seem to know a lot about British conquest around the world, which I guess makes sense. If you go to school in Britain, you're probably taught a lot of that stuff. Some of these I don't know about. I mean, obviously the British invasion video where it showed every country the British had invaded. These countries are ringing a bell, but at the same time, I don't really know all the details of them and stuff. So, you know, again, that stuff we'll get into in future videos.
1919, the League of Nations, as you know, when the Treaty of Versailles, when the world was redivided, the African colonies were partitioned and separated between France and Great Britain, and we got Uganda as a result simply of it being defeat the Germans. We got given Uganda, which stands like fucking winning there without even having to go there. Result. Another one, please. Another one. Another one.
Wow. Is he known for just knowing a lot of history? I mean, obviously this is a stand-up routine and he's rehearsed this and he knows what to say, sort of. But I mean, he has to just be able to spit this stuff off the top of his head. You know, when everybody, you know, yells out a name, he's got to be able to, you know, come up with something funny to say about that. That's impressive. I mean, did he go through like every country Britain had invaded and kind of came up with a joke about it? Because if he did, that's a lot of freaking work.
You need to go to more pub quizzes, love. Another one, please. Hey, United States. All right, okay. You're thinking War of Independence, America finds itself free of Great Britain. Yeah, they see that as a win. We see that as a lucky fucking escape. But let's not forget, in the War of 1812 to 1814, the Royal Navy sailed up the Potomac River, set fire to the White House, and the Americans had to whitewash it to cover up the fire damage, which is why it's called the White House. The Americans sued for peace at the end of 1814, even though they won a battle at the end of the war. The war's already over, the stupid fuckers were still fighting, even though they'd already lost. And that is America, and they've been working for us ever since. Another one, please. Belgium.
Okay, I don't understand that last bit about us working for the British ever since. Somebody has to explain that reasoning to me, because I don't... Honestly, all of this stuff is a joke. I mean, he's not being serious about all of this stuff, but I feel like in humor, even, there are some truths to all of this stuff, so I'd like to know, just for the sake of understanding the joke, what he means by America working for the British ever since 1814, basically. Also, the War of 1812, as we call it here in the States. I have to learn more about that because, again, it's one of those things we study in school, but it kind of, you kind of forget about it after a while.
Belgium, of course, is a creation of the series of...
I don't know what he's talking about.
Belgium, of course, is a creation of the series of treaties that came out at the end of the Napoleonic Wars. The fallout of Waterloo, 1815. It was the Duchy of Burgundy, of course, in the Netherlands states.
Look at him. You can tell. Like, look at the concentration on his face. You can tell that he's like really digging into his brain to pull out all of these facts. I'm really intrigued in how he kind of prepped for this. He, also he's dressed like a school kid. I know you guys wear school uniforms over there in the UK, so that's what it looks like he's dressed as right now, which is pretty hilarious with the beer in his hand and the school uniform. But he's also kind of like being a history teacher at the same time. So it's this really cool combo here.
States were divvied up to two buffer zones in order to prevent anyone...
I'm gonna go back.
The Duchy of Burgundy came out at the end of the Napoleonic Wars. The fallout of Waterloo, 1815. It was the Duchy of Burgundy, of course, in the Netherlands states were divvied up to two buffer zones in order to prevent any one single power taking control of the Netherlands, which is, of course, our dangerous flank between Germany and France, and we don't like European hegemony of one power, and that's why Belgium and Holland were cut up to two and a buffer zone created. And I think if you create a country out of thin fucking air, you've won. Another one, please. Another one.
I don't know if he's just drunk and having a hard time pulling out all of these facts, or if he's just really concentrating really hard. Maybe both.
Italy, yeah, 1943, folded early, didn't they? Another one, please. China, Opium War, 1860.
Oh.
Another one, please.
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso used to be a German colony. I referred to my previous answer. Another one, please. Norway, they used to be the Vikings, love. We saw them off in the end, didn't we? And look at that, that's a come down.
I just had somebody comment on one of my videos today. I think it was the Every Country Britain Has Invaded video about the Vikings and how something about the Vikings and the British kind of not quite getting along here. So obviously that's a topic to explore.
Come down. Once they were Vikings, now look at them, Norwegians. That's a fucking collapse, isn't it? From horny helmets to horny helmets. Another one, please. Japan, we've got the Yanks to do it for us. Another one. Peru. What language do they speak in Peru, sir? Portuguese. No, they don't, actually. They speak Spanish. Yeah, which means in 1512, when Pope Julius XII divided the New World into two sections down the line of longitude 129, the stuff to the east of that went to Portugal, which is why they speak Portuguese in Brazil. The stuff to the west of that went to Spain, which means Peru was technically part of Spain when we defeated Spain in 1588 back in the Armada. So we done Peru without even having a visit. Job done. Can't argue with it.
Oh my gosh. Going into this, I kind of expected him to be cracking more jokes than giving like history lessons, but he kind of did both, and I'm actually really impressed by that. He really comes off as somebody who has a very quick wit and also a lot of history knowledge. Now, I don't know if he just kind of studied some of this on his own and learned it, or if he has like a history degree, but he was just spouting off that stuff. As soon as somebody yelled out a country, he knew like the entire history of it for the most part. I mean, he almost went through it so fast that I had a hard time like keeping up with what he was saying, and some of it was some British humor that I feel like kind of like... But it looks like he has a lot more videos, so I think we're going to plan on watching some of those because I'm kind of intrigued now. I kind of want to see what else he has. But I'm also kind of curious about how you guys in Britain feel about the British Empire now. I would imagine that different people might think slightly differently about it. Is there any sort of sense of like smugness or pride in the British Empire at all? Or you guys just kind of like want to put that in your past and not be associated with it anymore? As an American, I have really no idea what your feelings might be on it. I also noticed that a lot of my audience is British, so I know that some of you can answer this question for me. The comments from everybody are welcome. I do read them and I try to respond. So if you have anything additional to add to this video, or if you want to answer a question that I had, or maybe your comment has nothing to do with any of that and you just want to leave a comment about something, that's fine too. Thanks for watching as always, and if you enjoyed this video, please do like it and subscribe. We've got the other 3 parts of the Eastern Front of World War II coming up, plus some other stuff. I know I'm excited about it. I know Roger's excited about it. I mean, look at that smile. So as always, stay tuned, and we will see you next time.